Good afternoon, everyone. So Skipper here. We're doing a little bit different format today because my friend Dale is unavailable to do the regular live feeds that we've done, and being that it's Remembrance Week here, I've decided on an impromptu chat for folks to be able to gather and remember to share. I certainly would love to have other veterans come up and be part of the live feed, and of course for all of you to be able to join us in the chat area and maybe have a few laughs as well, and spend a couple hours together. So welcome aboard. If you haven't shown up yet, I see that we're pretty quiet right yet, since it is normally on Coin World UK's channel. So I brought mine up, and I thoroughly invite everybody to join me for a couple hours, and we can share some time together. I think what I'll do just to kick things off here is I'm going to oh, hi John, it's nice to see you on board. I'm going to start off with something that's a little more current, and I'm going to talk a little bit about my regiment, the Royal Canadian Regiment, and the times that they had some hard times during the period that they were at, the 12 years that they were in Afghanistan, and we lost some really good folks there. Christopher Ty, really good to see you on board. Yeah, my well, what's the best way to put this? My regiment has different segments to it, including those that are actively serving, those that are reserve or militia, and those that are retirees that go into the regimental association. We're all part of a big regimental family, and most units across the world do things very similar. And what I would like to share with you a little bit today, because we do reflect a lot, of course, on the wars that went on a long time ago. But one of the things that's a little closer to home is the 1st Battalion of the Royal Canadian Regiment was heavily involved in Operation Medusa in Afghanistan in 2006. And I just want to start off the feed to share with you a little bit about this operation. It actually cost the lives of quite a few, and I'll mention the numbers, but a good friend of ours, Chief Warrant Officer Bobby Gerard, he was actually the Regimental Sergeant Major for the 1st Battalion, was killed, and my branch of my RCR association here in Alberta is actually named after him. And I had the privilege of meeting his commanding officer, General Omer Lavoie, and Bobby's wife, Jacqueline. So it was quite a pleasure to run across and be able to name the branch after Bobby. Hi, Chief Stacker. Good to see you. I will be putting a link here in shortly, right after I do this brief bit about Operation Medusa. And essentially, Operation Medusa was an operation that took place between September 2nd and 17 in 2006. It was a Canadian-led offensive during the Second Battle of Panjwai of the war in Afghanistan. The operation was fought primarily by the 1st Battalion of the Royal Canadian Regiment Battle Group and other elements of the International Security Assistance Force. That's ISAF. They have hopefully I'll be able to show you what that patch looks like. It was supported also by the Afghan National Party at the time, and a team from the United States 1st Battalion, 3rd Special Forces Group. They're airborne. And its goal was to establish government control over an area of Kandahar province centered in the district of Panjwai, some 30 kilometers or 19 miles for you U.S. guys, west of Kandahar City. A tactical victory. It resulted in the deaths of 12 Canadian soldiers, 5 during the major combat operations, 5 in bombings, and 2 in mortar RPG attacks during the reconstruction phase of the operation. 14 British military personnel were also killed when their plane crashed, and that was not an uncommon thing to have friendly fire and accidents happen during these kind of things. Despite suffering a brutal battlefield defeat, the Taliban retained their presence in the Kandahar province and did not lose their will to fight. And that led to the subsequent Operation Falcon Summit. Nonetheless, Operation Medusa was at the time the most significant land battle ever undertaken by NATO, and it was also the largest operation since the Korean War. So that's for Canada. So it was quite significant. The belligerents in the battle consisted, the ISAF had Canada, the Netherlands, the United States, the United Kingdom, Denmark, and Afghanistan, and of course they were going against the Taliban. To really understand the difference, we always said that whenever you're in an operation and you're on the offense, you're supposed to there's supposed to be 3-to-1 ratio. Well, the strength was for us there was 2,000. The Taliban had 1,200. Casualties and losses were pretty high. We're talking Great Britain had 14 killed, Canada lost 12. We ended up with a total actually of 31, and with the Taliban 512 killed and 136 captured. So it was a significant battle. Yeah, it was quite a bit. And the thing is, as an older soldier, and you see what these young guys went through, and see what they've come home with, the not just the external scars, but the internal scars. It was significant, and I have to admit, I'm really proud of a lot of the organizations that are now available to assist these folks. But still, just like before, there's certain ones that fall between the cracks, and that's where you get a lot of the folks that end up committing suicide and whatnot. It's something that breaks the heart, but it's a fact of life that it actually happens. So yeah, that's my position here in Alberta is to assist as a volunteer peer support, and I run an operational stress injury support group in Edmonton. There's quite a few of them to assist those battle scarred folks that have come back that have operational stress injuries, be able to help reintegrate them into civilian society. And you must understand that a lot of these guys and gals that are now civilians are essentially soldiers with no army. They have, because of their PTSD, they can no longer handle a weapon. They are essentially been fired from the Canadian Army, and again, I'm speaking for Canada, and they are thrust out in Civvy Street, and they don't know what to do with themselves. They try to give them support, but in a lot of cases, they end up again slipping between the cracks. So that's where we try to catch them and help them as best we can. So this is a time of year that's really hard on these folks, because not only are they remembering those that have gone before them, but also they're the remembrance of the battles they were in, the friends and comrades that they've lost, and they won't and trust me when I say this, they don't want to relive the experience. It's already in them. They live it every day. It's inside them. But if you want to really see a genuine veteran who is suffering, they will not talk about their experience. Especially they will talk about all the good times and anything else, and they want to be with their friends and comrades, but they don't want to relive those experiences. And it takes a very special group, a group like Wounded Warriors, to be able to very carefully work them through these issues that they had to live with, and learn to be able to live with themselves. So that's where I'm starting today. Yeah, you know what? PTSD, Chief Stacker, is you look what happened in Vietnam and how many soldiers ended up stuck in the woods, unable to integrate or reintegrate into civilian society. They were lost. And over the years, especially since 9/11 and everything happened, we've started to get programs to actually help these people. And thank goodness that we have finally woke up and realized that this is something that's significant. My Lord, World War I, they used to shoot them, for Pete's sake, because they considered them cowards. It's so important that we really hold on to these people and let them know that they're loved, that we can help them with whatever support we can give them, and let them know that they're not forgotten. None of them are forgotten. So it's good. I'm kind of missing Dale. I know Dale's doing some issues here. That's why I've this impromptu live feed is up here, and I'm gonna play around with my phone here to see if I can actually get the link in here for you without messing things up a little bit. But yeah, I'm enjoying the I might as well call it winter. It's not autumn. We don't have autumn here. It goes directly from a kind of a partial summer right into winter because we got so much snow. It's -20 out here Celsius. It's cold, and it's only going to get worse. Irish Collector, thank you for coming on board. I've missed seeing you. The Rock Butcher is there. Good. Great to see you. Yeah, let's see if I can get this going here. You know, this is fun. This old guy here that's just one step above rotary dials trying to work out all this tech. And oh, I might be able to do it this way. Hello, let me do it this way. I'm still learning, so bear with me. Oh yeah, I can. I'm on computer. Oh, sweet. Phone doesn't allow me to do this. And there it is. It did work. All right, there's the link there. If anybody wants to come up and chit chat, by all means. It's a lot more interesting than me just staring back at myself here. I actually have some folks to join me. Oh, PA Patriot, he's in.
Yo, what's up, brothers?
Oh man, am I ever glad you come up. This is good.
What's going on, Skipper?
Oh, you know what? I got some issues going on. I have no idea what's going on there, but he canceled his stream for today. I went, wait a minute. We're in Remembrance week here, and I can't let this pass. I'm not going to sit here and twiddle my thumbs. So I says, you know what? Okay, Remembrance theme, let's do it. Anybody that happens to be a vet wants to come up and chit chat. You want some civvies want to ask us questions, whatnot. The only thing I ask is no war porn. We don't need that crap. But I can tell you all kinds of good stuff that we had good chuckles about. I remember, in fact, I'll start off with a little bit. Soldiers have dark humor. Doesn't matter where you are. We have a dark sense of humor. We tend to laugh at other people's suffering, especially amongst ourselves. Oh, did I lose you? What happened to PA? I was just enjoying that. Anyway, try and get yourself back up here so I can chit chat. So many years ago, we were on. It was actually I don't know why it was. I think my battalion had a Friday off, and we decided to have a company party in the barracks. And in those days, we really knew how to party, and the soldiers, you lived hard and you played hard. So the barracks there, what we had set up is we made up a big batch of moose milk. I can't remember the exact ingredients, but I do know that they made it with alcohol and I think it was what was it? One of the milk, forgot the name of it now. Anyway, it was like a milk type mixture, but highly alcoholic, and it sat in the hallway in this big vat. And we had a Texas Mickey. You ever see a Texas Mickey? These are huge. And we had one in each one of the barrack rooms. So you basically wandered down the hallway, grabbed a scoop of moose milk while you were going, and then you would visit your friends in one room, pump out another drink. And I don't know how I ever survived all that. And by the time you finished doing all the rooms, you were pretty well blitzed. But we had a really good time doing it. Well, while we're having this party, out on the parade square, and all the barracks faced this giant parade square, service battalion was having a parade. And their backs were towards us. We could see the sergeant major giving commands out on this parade square. And one of the guys knew that, I won't use last names, but Mel, this guy named Mel, he used to make models. And we're talking the early, mid 70s. Mel had made these tank models that were actually made out of metal. And back then they had remote controls that were like size of a Mack truck trying to run these things. And we knew he had two of these tanks. One of them actually they all worked, except one of them actually had the ability to fire 22 caliber ammunition. Can you imagine that? Having a toy tank that actually fired 22 caliber rounds. Boy, we knew how to play back then. Well, one of the guys suggested to Mel that he use one of his tanks and go attack the service battalion that was on parade. So Mel, in his drunken stupor, thought that was a great idea. So he grabs a hold of this metal tank. It must have weighed 30 pounds. Anyway, took this thing down next to the parade square, and we're watching this tank, and it's on the embankment, and he runs back up to his room, and he's got his controls, and this tank goes up, and it gets over the edge, and it's cruising, and you can see it cruising all the way across the parade square. And we also saw the sergeant major could see this tank, this tiny little tank, heading towards his troops that were on parade square. Got to understand, especially in Commonwealth countries, parade square is holy ground, and you better have a good reason to go onto this parade square. Well, that tank did not have a good reason to be on that parade square. He stood all his troops at ease, and he marched sharply towards it with his pay stick. And once he got to the tank, he starts beating the living daylights out of this thing, just whacking it like crazy. And you can hear him go, "Get off my parade square!" And he's beating this thing. And all of us that were in the barracks, we're all our noses were pressed against the windows, and we're watching Mel, and Mel's crying and screaming, going, "My tank! My tank! Oh my God, my tank!" He's crying. Well, we're crying too, but not because we're distressed. It was the funniest thing to see ever. Seeing the guy freaking out while his tank's getting beaten up by a sergeant major as it's trying to get off the parade square. By the time it did get off, it had no turret. It was a mess. Well, that was fun, I must admit. So, what do we got here? Silver Knight Kaya, yeah, U.S. Marine Corps, 82 to 92, Corporal E4 Specialist. Need to take, okay, Chief Stacker is taking off. Getting ready for a storm coming in Jacksonville, Florida. Another storm. EAC's in the house. I'm so happy to see that. John Jacobs, as always. Oh, yeah. Yeah, 100 mark. No, that's sweet, eh, John? Wonderful. Okay, I'm going to post the link one more time here if anybody else wants to come up. Madwood Barbecue. Oh, gee, how are you doing? That's great. Yeah, I just got contacted by my buddy John. He's served in my battalion, and I think he was in the 1st Battalion as well. And we're getting together to go to West Edmonton Mall for the Remembrance service. We'll be with Branch 255, Jasper Place Legion. So I'm not going on parade because of my busted back, but I'll be there with the rest of them. Yeah, I'm going to have to start, John, I'm going to have to start sorting out all the stuff that I've had come in lately. I'm just haven't got around to putting them in some of the albums and sorting through it. I'm really behind. But I did manage to get the prizes out from last month. So they've gone out. I also got to take a look at, since the mail service is kind of unreliable these days, I'm going to have to see if I can get more of I'm going to send my Christmas cards and packages out a little earlier this year. Oh, awesome. A 100 rupee note for next draw. Great. All right. What happened to PA Patriot? Are you still there, PA Patriot? Yeah, I'm going through, actually going through a bunch. I got piles and piles and piles of different coins from all over the planet here that I haven't sorted through yet. Ooh, that's a nice one. Got another challenge coin for the Patricias. I served with them as well. That's a really nice coin there too. Yeah. So what's everybody else doing this week? Are you going to have any at Cottonwood Ranch? Thank you for coming on board. Yeah, I think what I'll do then, until someone shows up, I'll do a little bit of history since on different regiments. All right. Oh well, give you a little bit more. Okay, I'm wearing the beret and the cap badge of the Royal Canadian Regiment. It still has the Royal Cipher of Queen Victoria, Victoria Regina Imperatrix, on the cap badge here. The Royal Canadian Regiment is an infantry regiment of the Canadian Army. The regiment consists of 4 battalions, 3 in the regular force, and 1 in the primary reserve. First, second, and third are reg force. Fourth is reserve. It was actually founded. The regiment was actually founded December 21st of 1883 in London, Ontario, as part of the infantry school. It actually has a tartan that is quite a good little tartan here. So we do have a kilt. We do march to bagpipes, which is neat. Motto is Pro Patria, which means for country. Role for the RCRs, the two battalions are light. The light role is one paratroop battalion and 2 battalions mechanized infantry. I was actually mech infantry. Unfortunately, when I took my jump training, I screwed up. That's the only thing I regret, is not finishing my jump training because I broke my ankle. Because we really, that's kind of a status thing where we non-jumpers are legs. If you don't march from wherever you go or taking trucks. But there's something about jumping on an airplane, even to this day. I'm a bit of an adrenaline junkie. I'd do it in a heartbeat if I could. Yeah, the currently the Royal Canadian Regiment, the colonel of the regiment is Major General Dennis Thompson. Our colonel in chief was Prince Philip, believe it or not. But once he passed, that position is still remaining vacant, which I'm kind of surprised that it hasn't been filled yet. Yeah, and if you ever get a chance, even though Wolseley Barracks is now officially closed as a base, they still have the original buildings there, and they have the regimental museum, and the 4th Battalion, the reserve. They meet in their armories in London. What do we got here? We got some chat going on in here. I'll get caught up. Christopher Ty says, so is it the World War II Japanese government issue? I was talking about the bill. My first boss, paratrooper on D-Day, great man. Oh yeah, and EAC has got a link there to find a grave. And Lady Bravin, hello. It's good to see you on board here. That's Dimebag Darren. I keep forgetting. Yeah, he's got gaming. Let's see. Christopher Ty says, my great uncle Harold was killed in action in 1918, serving with the 9th Battalion Queen's Victoria's Rifles. Wow. When you can, family history tying to it. Peter Jackson has put out a documentary just a couple of years ago, They Shall Not Grow Old. If you ever get a chance, I believe it's on Netflix, but if you get a chance to look at this, what Peter Jackson has done, unlike any other film you might see of the Great War, is that he's taken actual footage that was done on a crank camera and silent film, and he has actually adjusted the speed so that it's a normal speed, colorized it. Then he brought in people who could read lips. It was so detailed. He got the folks that could read lips from the areas of the country where those the persons that were in the films were living. So if you were from if you're a Cockney from Billingsgate Market, well, that's basically the voice that was coming out of the person. They actually duplicated the voices. They got Peter Jackson got the I believe it was the Royal New Zealand Artillery to do all the actual fire rounds, and he dubbed the sound of the artillery to the film as well. It is so. It's like you're there. It's nothing like I've ever seen before. It's not a recreation. It's actual sights and sounds, and you could see because of the brilliance of the film that's brought out. It no longer feels like you're distancing yourself through time. You're actually there, and you can see the fear on their faces. You can see the conditions. Yeah, if you can't handle stuff like that, don't. But if you can, hold on to your seats, tie up your seatbelt, because this documentary is probably the best one I personally have ever seen. And there's my buddy Marlon. I'll be seeing Marlon tomorrow. I can't wait. Yeah, going for breakfast at Ricky's at 8 o'clock. Gives me a to get up. Well, it's still dark. That's what wise are for there, Taffy. Yeah, another film that I watch, and of course I scrutinize these as many veterans do, because and I'm going to reflect back over the years we've seen war movies go from what we deemed as clean movies, where the guy's running across the field, bullets are shot, and the guy falls down. There's no blood or anything, no gore. They just die. And a lot of the old black and whites were like that. But as they progressed and with realism, it's got to the point now where it almost puts us guys into shock watching some of this stuff. You got to be really prepared for it, because when they brought out with Saving Private Ryan, and and Band of Brothers and all that stuff, far too real. A lot of it's far too real. But the movie Fury, best example of post-traumatic stress disorder I have ever seen, where you could see the change in the young crew member on that tank, from the birth basically innocent, and you can see how it completely changed him because of what he was going through, what he was exposed to. You could see it. That is really very well done. There's Kyle up here. Hey. Another one. Hi, Kyle. Another one is Hacksaw Ridge. Hacksaw Ridge actually made me feel guilty, because during our training, anyone that didn't fit in, we broke them. That's the way it was back then. If you can't hack it, pack it. If you weren't, you didn't conform, you didn't make it. That was just the way it was. And this young guy was a nonconformist. He was a conscientious objector that decided to go to war without a rifle. Okay, what? All right.
He was a Quaker. He was a Quaker.
He was Seventh-day Adventist.
Seventh-day Adventist.
He's a Seventh-day Adventist. So he says no, he wanted to save lives. And he stuck to his guns. He gets into battle, and he doesn't fire a single round. He saves lives, not only his own men, but also the enemies. And by the time he finishes, everybody realized he's one of the bravest men they've ever seen. And he saved more people. And it got to the point where his unit would not go into battle until he did his prayers. Wow. Wow.
Doss.
Yeah, Dobbs.
Private Doss.
Private Doss.
He got a Medal of Honor for that.
That's right. Congressional Medal of Honor. Highest. And he never fired. He never picked up a rifle.
Nope. He risked getting canned for that. I wasn't a Seventh-day Adventist or a Quaker or anything, but I grabbed a couple of things that were nearby and handy for a few laughs. So I pulled my dog tags off the wall for a laugh. Actually put them on, but if you want a good laugh for as far as Marines go, I got to cover up my social security number here. See what that says?
So, was it Taoist? Taoist?
And then my other set of tags would say
Zen Buddhist.
I was the first recognized Taoist Buddhist in the Marine Corps, but I wasn't the first Taoist Zen Buddhist in the Marine Corps. They changed a law at the end of 1987 that went into effect in 1988. And when I listed my stuff, I listed it as Taoist, and I'm the first recognized USMC Taoist. So,
wow.
I am not a pacifist, but I am a pacifist. I'm not a conscientious objector, but I'm a firm believer in if war is necessary, do it to it. If not, it's the absolute last resort. So, yeah, they had to come to terms with me being kind of a hippie with a high and tight. And I did combat, so.
Uh-oh. It's interesting. It says Silver Knight Kyle, and he's in darkness. Oh, we lost him. He'll come back. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Shopcat Industries. Shopcat Industries, where are you located?
Hey,
Hi.
you know that Alberta healthcare service?
Oh, hold on a second.
Oh, this is maddening. I had all my notifications shut off, and I forgot to shut off my alarm because I have a 5 o'clock show I have to go on to. And of course, that alarm hit right mid sentence. So, are you picking me up? Oh, no. Who's muted? Me? You? Can you hear me? All right. Well, this is a bummer because now I can't hear you. I'm going to try this one more time because I've only got. There we go. You're on. I only got a few minutes.
The missus came in and she's asking me a whole bunch of questions, so I kept her off mic.
All right. No, but I just left off with the hippie with the high and tight thing. I figured people might get tickled by. But I don't have much of my stuff out, but like this is in my downstairs closet. Here's one of my satin tour jackets.
Oh, that's nice.
So it's a little grimy now, but you know, that's one of my satin tour jackets. But you were talking Remembrance Day and jumping out of airplanes. There's my pops back in '58.
Oh, wow.
He was in 105th Airborne. That's his unit, and that's him down in the corner. So he was a paratrooper medic. I don't even know what the Army called it. Not quite special forces, but whatever. Close enough. Then I want to hold these back far enough because my social security number's on it, but like Jungle Patrol School, Chemical Weapons School, Chemical Weapons.
You know what, Kyle? I got the same problem with all my certificates because when I served, that's what we used as our military ID number.
Yep.
And
my Cannoneer School. I was an artilleryman by natural trade. So yeah, I got to play hide and seek with that. But yeah, this is what my goofiness looked like at 21. So
Oh, those were the days, eh?
yeah, when I wasn't drinking, I was blowing stuff up.
Yep.
So
Ooh, a lot of stuff.
shoot through a couple of these real quick. That's North Korea in the background in the sunset right there. I was a biscuit inside of South Korea. Here's where we landed.
Did they have you do a tour on the DMZ, or you just do an exercise?
No, 88 and 88, the Seoul Olympics.
Oh, you were at the Seoul Olympics. Okay.
And 3 months after the Seoul Olympics, they had an uprising and they destroyed the whole Olympic Village and stuff like that. So they brought us in for that. And then it was a show for us that they pumped us up on the DMZ and just kind of flexed our muscles. There's Alaska. There's right next door to your neighborhood. Let's get these shells after this. This is the pop gun, the main pop gun we had. The 198 millimeter artillery piece. There's the little bullets we fired that weighed over 100 pounds.
Yeah.
There's a clear shot of them without me in it. Now, mind you, this is in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, when Noriega was bouncing out of Panama, and they shipped the Army and the Navy into Panama, on land and sea in Panama, and shipped us up to Cuba because Noriega said he was going to hop into Havana. So they parked us on the fence line and said, if he hops into Havana, we're sending Marines to go snatch him up, just so you know. And because we made, can I say Pete off?
Oh yeah, that's cool.
The actual commendation that we got, we got a Navy unit citation medal ribbon for pissing off Fidel Castro. We made Fidel Castro mad, and I got an award for it. So that's a unit loading up the gun. Me and old Cammy's drifting around the sea. Yeah, I only grabbed a few of these. And then that's our gun position in Korea, right up on the DMZ in 88. A lot of it was flexing muscles and stuff, but I had a million stories, but I only had like 5 minutes. And once PA got dumped off, I didn't want you being alone. So I was like, hey, here's some random things. You know, I've got stuff going back generations. You know, like my grandparents and their generation all fought in World War II and before. My great great grandpa was on the Army detail that buried Woodrow Wilson. So
Wow.
I got a bit of lineage with military. You know, my dad and his 4 brothers were all in between 58. They're between 56 and 70, and they were all either Army, Navy, or Marines.
Mm-hmm.
And 3 of them were directly in Vietnam. So I got to grow up hearing about that, and then generations talking about World War II. Then I've got stacks of. I really don't have any kind of war trophies because I totally agree with you. Any kind of war gore like that is just gross. But I do have a few nice things. I have like sand from Iwo Jima when I did a dog and pony show there, and I'm gonna get you some of that so you can put it with your history. And oh yeah, just saying hey to old vets and saying thank you for your service. You were a lifer right there, Skip.
I was a lifer until my back gave. I did 22 years.
Yeah, that's a lifer. I did 4 hard, but I could have been a lifer, but then I just wanted to watch my kid grow up. I was like, nah, I'm tired of being shot at. It's time to go home.
I just play too. The way I look at it, I just play too hard. That's why I'm feeling so much of it today.
Well, like I always tell people, you know, there was a small percentage that was ugly of my time in, But when it was ugly, it was horrifically ugly. You're all froze up there, Santa Bud.
Am I? Oh, well, I can hear you. Okay.
But yeah, when it was ugly, it was real ugly. But they were short and sweet. I had 4 days that I'd rather not ever relive. But the rest of it, I was mostly drunk, and it is those stupid stories of barracks around the world, stupid drunken trivial things like who we'd run contests of who could puke with the most dignity, in the winner of that in a given Friday, you'd automatically win a case of beer from the other guys. And I had gone down to pick up a case of beer, and mind you, this is when a 24 pack of Budweiser would cost us $1. Literally cost us $1.
Mhm.
And I'm walking up the hill up to the little Quonset hut outside the Quonset hut where we had a little party deck. And I'm walking up with a case of beer on my shoulder like this, and I don't miss a step. And I've been drinking so much, I just lifted up my chin, projectile vomited into the ravine, didn't even get it on my clothes, didn't miss a step, walked up and put it down. And they said, "All right, now here's your case of beer for that one, because nobody's going to beat that one tonight."
Jeez.
And like a week after that, we had one guy in our unit who was a real putz, just pure putz. And he overdid everything. And like I said, we're in Quonset huts in the Philippines, and it's monsoon season. And yeah, Marines are spit and polish and stuff like that, but you can take it to the extreme. This guy would shine his boots and put them outside and tell people, "I'll write you up if you even touch my boots and put a scuff on them." And it's like, it's pouring down rain. We're not putting on a pretty show here. We're in camouflage. We're getting soaked. We're not doing any parade deck runs. We're here as a show of force. You ain't got to be such an obnoxious spit and polish asshole. And he was. And so his shoes are sitting outside there, and he's in taking a shower, and one of the guys just leans over and goes, "F him," picks up one of his boots, opens it up, unloads a mountain of hurl in there, and just puts it right back without.
Oh.
We're like, "All right, you win. Here's your case of beer, buddy." Because that's a guy that had it coming to him. I know he cleaned it out, and I know he just spit and polished them again, but he should have bought new boots. But he was just an ass's ass. And it's like, all right, that's the perfect one. Because, like you said, we're just meaner than snot to each other, but still
Yeah.
not. But it's like, if you rub somebody the wrong way, the whole team's going to come
The
get
whole
you.
thing's gonna come down to you. Absolutely.
Yeah.
For a wonderful sale there.
Yeah.
You
But
got
that's-
to. We have massive amounts of boredom. We do our
Yeah.
job. Massive amounts of boredom. When we unwind big time. And then, as Kyle has said it so clearly, then there comes those little stints of absolute horror that you hopefully get through, and then you go back to the absolute boredom. And I actually hated Garrison. I really did. I hated Garrison.
Yeah.
I would rather have been on exercise, not an active theater of operation, but go on exercise a couple of weeks where I could, get dirty, friggin', trudge around the bush, have a good time, cook. It's like camping, do your thing, go on the range. I don't mind doing that. But when you get in garrison, and spit and polish, you're in class, you're doing drill, all that stuff. You can keep that. But the partying was something else. It was like outrageous. It was absolutely outrageous.
Granted, I was a Victor Gulf Forward deployed Marine, so out of schools, out of boot camp and artillery school, and my over 3.5 years in the fleet, 3.5 consecutive years, I never spent more than 3 weeks in the same spot.
Wow. No, that's something else.
Never. It was, and it could be just out in the field, but like my longest stretch in the same state was only a month and a half.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the rest of it, I was hopping countries, and I lost track. I did one tour where we flew out of the east coast of the U.S., flew out west to go out to the Far East. Then I had to fly back during the middle of that. Then I had to fly back that way then when that was done, I had to fly back around the world the other way, ended up in the Gulf War, and then fly back around. So I did a lap and a half around the world before I came home. On
The
one
other,
tour, on
the
one
other
leg.
thing, the other thing folks here don't realize too is that you have two different. You had the married guys and you had the single guys. The single guys were the smart ones, as far as I'm concerned. They were the smart ones. The married guys, unless you had a really special wife, marriages just did not last for combat arms guys. They just didn't.
I was married the whole time I was in, and divorced right after. Married right out of boot camp, divorced right after. She saw me for a couple of days a year. It was an utterly pointless
the
relationship.
divorce rate was outrageous.
Yeah. All right. Well, I got to get on a live in London, UK right now. So that was what that alarm was about. But I wanted to hop in with you for a minute and say, hey, thanks to all you vets. So,
yeah, thank you for your service, buddy.
okay. So, yeah, it's fun. I got shot at a little. I can show scars one day.
Let's not be showing our scars. Come on now.
I can never remember where I tell these stories at, but here's a fun one before I go. You can see where they sewed my finger back on there.
Oh yeah.
You know what happens when the webbing of your finger gets cut?
Yeah, you end up with a floppy.
It's just a floppy, and I had a piece of shirt go up there, pulled it out, and wrapped my shirt around it, but I could look down and just see the empty in my hand. Because yucky, yucky, yucky. Okay. Not all. I'm off. Okay. See you.
See you later. And there he is gone. And now put up the link one more time. There you go. Mom was the RSM at our home when I grew up. Dad was gone over 200 plus days some years. Absolutely. Yeah. My youngest three had me home. I actually my youngest, he was probably about 2 or 3 months old when I retired from the service. But my oldest children, they never saw me. They didn't see me until many years later, just in passing pretty well. My oldest boy actually followed me in the service. He ended up joining up and going to the Lord Strathcona Horse Regiment. He was a zip. We call them zipper heads. He was into the tanks, leopards at the time. There we go. All right. Well, we talked about the RCR. Now let's take a look at the Princess Patricia's Canadian Light Infantry. Now I'm picking the ones that I know a little bit better because these are regiments that I served with, and they are very interesting stories. All right. My PPCLI cap badge is in my case, but I'm going to take my RCR cap badge down. I'm going generic, and I'm going to go with my United Nations peacekeeping beret, which many of us wore. There we go. All right. PPCLI was completely different than the RCR. The RCR was actually, as I said before, formed in the infantry school in London, Ontario. And a lot of the original infantry units, actually, their trainees came from there. But, thanks, Marlon. I love that. The Princess Canadian Light Infantry was actually founded through an act of philanthropy as a result of the acceptance of the offer of Captain Andrew Hamilton Galt a Montreal entrepreneur, and he did this on the 3rd of August, 1914. He provided $100,000 to raise and equip a battalion for overseas service. He actually got the patronage of Lady Patricia Brayborn. I could be wrong here. It's either Brayborn or Ramsey. I'll look that up. It's been so long since I've done it. And she actually sewed the flag for them, and they named it Princess Patricia's Canadian Light Infantry for her. The Canadians continuously have been part of the unit since 1914, and there's been more than 1,850 Patricias that have fallen in the service of Canada in her wars, in peacekeeping and peace support operations in Canada and elsewhere. And many thousand members of the regiment have been wounded or injured throughout their service in Canada. The regiment's mission today has not changed, and it's to provide an excellent military infantry regiment for service to Canada. The serving components of the regiment is currently located here in Edmonton. 1st Battalion PPCLI, the 3rd Battalion PPCLI are here, and the 2nd Battalion PPCLI are actually out of Shiloh, Manitoba. And there are several different Patricias that are serving in various capacity throughout the Canadian forces, all over the place. A lot of them are also still with the United Nations peacekeeping force. And of course, just like in the RCR, they have the retired in the form of the PPCLI Association, with 10 branches actually located across Canada. I belong to the Edmonton branch of the PPCLI Association. Got a lot of good friends in it, and these are guys that I've served with, and it's kind of neat to be able to see them after almost half a century. They're still here, thank goodness. It's wonderful to see. Thanks for that link, Marlon. Yeah, After Service Adventures Canada. The purpose of that YouTube channel that I set up is for veterans to share their adventures once they've gotten out. And it can be anything from crazy stunts like trying to go on a skydiving, or they want to do whitewater rafting again in their 70s, or going out hunting and they're using a walker. Whatever it might be, doing things that we shouldn't be, but because we get the spirit of an 18-year-old still inside us, we want to try. And it's to encourage us to have adventures, whether it be traveling, helping other veterans, helping other communities out, going up in we have done so many things over the last little while after we've gotten out. We've had folks up in Whitehorse in the Yukon that had retired, but had one chap had a brain injury. We went up and supported him, and his family actually went to visit him and presented him with a quilt of valor. We've had people all over the country where we've got to try to assist and to spend some time with. We had a gentleman that was down outside of Red Deer who was terminally ill with cancer, and he was trying to get home. We helped him get home. And we spent some time with him, and he actually passed, I don't think more than a week after we went to visit him. And it was nice to at least spend some time with him, know that he wasn't alone, that he had people to support him. Shop Cat Industries says, I went to the Pickley's 100th anniversary celebration at CFB Edmonton. We could have crossed paths. I was there. I named my first daughter Sadie, which is an important name in PPCLI when I didn't know it at the time. That's cute. That's awesome. Yeah, that was quite a festivity, the 100th. That would be, 2014. That was a lot of fun. Actually, we had, they had some of the best displays up there. I even enjoyed watching the rappel teams and the big march past. That was cool. John, that's, what's in a name? It's the same to Veterans Day in the States, November 11th. It's, we're doing the same thing. Yeah, I hope it does take off. It's again, we need contributors. Marlon, did you get any sleep at all today? It's been years since I've been able to function on 2 or 3 hours sleep. Used to be able to, but boy, did you ever hallucinate really good. Come see, come saw. Yes, it's called Remembrance Day there too, Taffy. Cow, 1500. Why don't you come up and visit there, Taffy? Yeah, I felt so old when I went to that ceremony. When they were doing the displays with all the kit that they had, when we used to run the Hueys, essentially we had a piece of nylon rope that we tied around our waist, turned it into a Swiss seat. We had a carabiner that we were shown how to hook it up, and then you had a bag with some rope, and we used to go up to throw the rope out of the helicopter and lean out and do our rappel. But boy, the kit that they have now, holy mackerel. They have proper Swiss seats. The ropes were huge. We didn't have that nylon rope we had it stretched a third of its length, for Pete's sake. So if you break too close to the ground, you bounced. Yeah, I'm still in the middle of tidying up myself. I'm actually getting ready to start hauling all the bins out. We don't do any decorating for Christmas till after November 11th. But I do start bringing some of the bins out. I've got 40 bins to start dispersing around the house. And for a few weeks, it's a zoo in here with decorations going up and other stuff being tucked away. And this room that I'm in right now is no different. It's going to be pulled apart and turned into the Santa's workshop, which has a dual purpose. I actually do wrap my family's presents down here. Hueys were fun. I think one of the biggest thrills. I'm an adrenaline junkie, even at my age. If I could do some of this stuff, I'd do it again. I loved it when we, as you know, the way the Hueys work with the doors. When they're open, you're essentially you're in a seat with a seat belt, and you're in a mesh seat, just hanging your face out into open space, and you could see the skid just down below you. And we went to the most fun I ever had on one was in the Mattawa Plain in Petawawa, and we were skirting. They were showing us how they were doing combat runs, and of course, we got to go for the ride. It was better than any carnival ride I've ever been in, because they took that Huey, and there we were. Doors are wide open. You're just getting there, catching all the breeze, and they took that thing up, and they went straight up and banked real sharp like this and down. And what a rush. It was the coolest thing. I think there is no carnival ride or anything that you could ever compare to this thing. It was awesome. Now the Chinooks the Chinooks were great because they used to take us out into the field, especially in the winter. The winter is when they usually did this sort of thing. They would hover about 4 feet off the ground, put the back ramp down, and we'd have all our kit, winter kit, snowshoes, the rifles, packs, even our toboggans, and we pushed them off the end of the ramp, and then we would jump the 4 feet into the snow. Well, the thing is, when you're coming down with about 80 pounds of kit on your back plus a rifle, and you hit the snow, that you disappear. You end up in a snowdrift. It's like about 8 feet deep. And you're looking up and you can see the sunlight, and you're trying to dig yourself out of this big hole that you ended up in with a helicopter hanging over top of you, and there's still bodies jumping out. Of course, he does move it over a little bit so you don't end up with people landing on your head. But, oh, man, what a rush. You know what? When you're already hooked up and you're in the Huey, it doesn't matter. You're gonna go. That's it. You go wherever that thing's gone. So you got no choice. But yeah, it is a lot of fun. The other thing that I took a course for doing slung loads for equipment, and there was nothing like having a Chinook helicopter hovering over top of you. I've got a 2.5 ton truck. It's at SMP, and you've got this thing set up for a slung load, and you have to get up on top of the cabin, and you got the hook, and here comes the helicopter, and you can literally, you touch it, you just hook that bloody thing up, jump off the truck, and the helicopter pops, and of course it's got the tiebacks on there. They pop and they fly away with the truck that you did. That is a very cool feeling too. Yeah, those are the kind of things that I really miss doing. Those were fun. Yeah, that would have been cool to see, Shopcat. Yeah, very, very cool. Those the pilots were pretty skilled. The only time that we had issues, of course, as you know, we do a lot of joint stuff with the U.S., but there are certain things that they do that's different than the Canadian. This is what year? It must have been 1988 or 89. We had an air show up here, and we had pilots from the U.S. Air Force and Canada flying in formations with C-130s, and the base commander went ahead on his own authority to give permission for them to give rides to civilians and their families and whatnot in these C-130s. But what they failed to do, and this unfortunately this is the miscommunication, is that when these Hercs are flying in formation, they have a certain angle when they bank. You guys are skilled. They have a certain angle that they bank, and it's supposed to be in such a way where they're in sync. Unfortunately, these guys weren't taught that one banks at a different rate than the other, and the outside plane actually banked too sharply and flew into the other one. I can't remember whether it was the Canadian or the U.S. that did it, but they crashed, and unfortunately it killed everybody that was on board. And when that come down, it come down on the POL point in base Edmonton. And I believe I had a buddy, Tom, who was working in base transport. He was actually cleaning a truck at the time. One of the engines actually came through the wash bay and landed on the truck that he was washing. But that was a huge mess. And to my surprise, the base commander did not get fired. They actually promoted him and shipped him off to Ottawa. And I think that's a sore point. I won't get into too much, but that horrible accident. It's all part and parcel of service life, though. You have stuff like that happens. I have friends that were on an exercise. You lose a lot of people too. don't realize it. A good friend of mine is his son actually was one of my scouts. I ran the base scout troop, and he was up in Wainwright, and they had a helicopter incident there, and he was killed. And it's tough because you start seeing funerals all the time. Every time you turn around, there's a funeral because we're a tight-knit community. You get to know everybody. Yeah, Madwood, you build your channel as you can, I find that it's, even though I'm still doing videos, but the live feeds are once you get used to them, they're actually quite great. But yeah, decide on what it is you want to do, and I think consistency is one of the big things if you want to start doing videos. Have yourself some sort of just like any script or any movie. Have a script where you have an idea what it is you're going to talk about or do, but do it. I've got to the point now where if I go on a trip to see my daughter, I will take video or pictures there, and I will do a video. Anything that will be interest. It's amazing. Pet videos are really popular. ASMR videos are fabulous. You see all these videos that they're doing on slot machines or mindless things. Coin roll hunting. Coin roll hunting is an ASMR video. You're sitting there just watching them do their thing, relaxing. And of course, if you're into coin collecting, that's like, oh yeah, okay, I'm in heaven. Oh, EAC has just finished voting. Yeah, I kind of had surgery too. Not the bad stuff. Last year was my bad year for surgery, Shopcat. I made myself a Boy Scout Sloppy Joe. Yeah, I like Sloppy Joes to this day. And I made a big batch for my wife and I bit into this thing. Lo and behold, there's a piece of bone or something in there, and I bit down on my tooth, and it hit it in it made such a snap that it actually startled my wife from across the room. And I cleaned it all up. I couldn't really see what I'd done, but it hurt like hell. And so I went into emergency dental there yesterday. The trays, and my dentist looks and goes, I can't save that tooth. You've cracked it all the way right through the root. I said, oh crap. I just lost 2 molars on the one side, so I've now lost one here. So keep this up, and I'm going to be gumming my. Thank goodness I got the front ones okay, because me playing Santa with no teeth, no, doesn't work. Yeah, you know what? I know a lot of people say, why bother voting? That person I want to get in won't get in anyway. And you know what? It's one of the few things that we fought for to be able to vote. Yeah, you have the right not to, but doggone it, it's so nice to be able to complain. If you want to complain, at least you did the voting. Say, oh yeah, I didn't vote for that guy, but I voted for him over there. At least vote for somebody. But the problem with voting is people aren't educating themselves enough to find out not only what the person stands for, but because we're in a party politics, and that's Canada and the United States, find out what the party stands for and match it to your beliefs. I don't care what it is. In states, whether you're Republican or Democrat, you vote the party that best reflects, and believe it or not, none of them are perfect. You pick the one that's the best that suits you. Same with here in Canada. It's easy. It's actually, I think the divide is even clearer here. You vote the party that best reflects what you believe. And that's one of the things that we fought for, is the right to be able to do that. Uh, I think the best education I ever had is I decided to actually force myself to watch CPAC, the watch the parliamentary sessions in the House of Commons, and realize, boy, oh boy, what if we voted in here? These, this isn't, they don't answer the questions. And I actually asked my member of parliament, I says, why don't they ever answer the questions in question period? He says, you've answered your own question. I said, what do you mean? He says, it's question period, not answer period. So you take a look at these guys talking back and forth, and lots of valid questions, but they never ever give an answer. Oh, I watched our famous prime minister go on for hours repeating the same paragraph over and over again. I think he has a world record. I think it's on Guinness World Book of Records. It's filibustering to me, prattling on, not giving an answer. And I wonder how many people who voted those people in have they ever listened to these guys? Like, what? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Makes me wish maybe we should go back to direct democracy. I don't know. Yeah. Just did EAC? Do they have the electronic voting down there now? Can you vote from home? Yeah, good one, Chuck. Okay. Hey, Jason. Jacob Rees-Mogg holds the record, I believe. Taffy, why don't you come up here and tell me all about it? I'm gonna bug him as much as I can, because he is probably one of the most interesting people I've ever talked to. In my house, my lovely English bride, she's a Republican. I'm a monarchist. So it goes to show you that you can have different beliefs and still actually get along. Actually, I think it's good that we're different, because I don't want to be, we get bored with each other. Anyway, Taffy's got some interesting stuff that he could, especially about British politics. You think we got problems? Jeez. Comedy of errors. Oh, that's good to hear, EAC. Great. Oh, my dog alarm's going off. Yeah, I've got so many projects that I've got going. What in the world do I got here? I'm a terrible one. If I see something I like, I'm a collector of scouting stuff, and that's, I don't know if you'll be able to see that already. Oh, look at that, eh? Norman Rockwell. Poppy's in the way. There it is. Look, if I go, there it is. Ooh, that looks really weird. Anyway, I collect stuff like this, and sometimes I drop the link. The link is dropped. Squirrel. Yeah, I'm especially interested in different types of military books, scouting books. Currencies. Geez, that's cool. I can make myself disappear holding stuff up. Different types of currency, bills. My whole place is just filled with this stuff. Getting little packages. Look at that. That's cool. Hello. Ooh. Forget showing anything here. I got to figure out how to do that. Aha. We've got Taffy Coins in the house. Look at him. He's got his
Hello.
Christmas tree up. Now that he's proactive.
The thing is, we don't have Thanksgiving, do we?
Oh,
So
that's
where there's,
right.
like,
You don't.
yeah. So where like Americans and Canadians might think, oh, we'll trim up after Thanksgiving. We don't have it. Our apparent Thanksgiving, I say inverted commas, is bonfire night, where we unfortunately failed to kill James the First. It's one of the only celebrations that I know of failure where we failed to kill the king. They set a load of fireworks off and like set the dogs barking. It's fine.
Unreal. I like Bonfire Day. That's
I'm
cool.
glad you understand my British sarcasm as well.
History Man says, I'm a black far right guy. I do get right along with everybody as they respect me. They are cool.
You are Taffy Claus.
Oh, don't take it off. It looks good.
No, I get too warm in it.
Well, I'll tell you, you'll need it here. Minus 20 Celsius today. And we're just getting started.
You got your temperatures today are 20 degrees Celsius.
That's minus 20.
Oh, minus 20. I was going to say, flipping heck. I was going to say you're having a warm.
No, minus 20.
Flipping heck. Night. Kirsty says night.
Good night, farewell, Avidas, and you.
My Christmas present coming today.
Oh,
Hang on.
oh,
Yeah.
nice. You got
Under the hang of
cool.
It's the snowman and the snow dog. Do you guys know about the snowman over there? The Raymond Briggs animation?
I have seen it before. The British one. We also have in Quebec, we have Bonhomme.
What's that?
Bonhomme.
What's Bonhomme?
You've never heard of Bonhomme? Well, he's a snowman. He's the mascot for the Quebec Winter Carnival.
Oh.
Now, if you want to have an experience, go to the Quebec Winter Carnival. You can stay in an ice hotel.
Just going outside naked is an experience enough. That's the silver-proof one. That's what the silver-proof one looks like.
Oh, that is very pretty.
So, but good old Royal Mint is expensive though. So it comes in a Perspex display case. You can pull the coin out.
Yeah, I'm hoping Jack at West Edmonton Coin and Stamp gives me a Santa Claus one, because that would really make my day.
There's Raymond Briggs Santa Claus coins.
Oh, Canada's come
You
out
can
with
actually
beauties.
But they're produced by Pobjoy Mint. I keep forgetting. It's either Isle of Man or Guernsey. So like
They
the
put out
Channel
some really
Islands.
nice coins.
Pobjoy. Yeah, they do, but also put a load of tat out as well.
That's where is that from? Is that Isle of Man? Yeah, I got an Isle of Man one. You probably recognize that one, hey? If you can see it. No, you can't see it.
Oh yeah,
Hold on.
Is that the one that I sent you?
Yeah, that's the one that you sent me.
Yeah, the poppy ones.
The one with the Mayflower.
Oh, the Mayflower. Yeah. The poppy ones are either man as well that I sent you.
Yes, I saw that. I love those. I just have to wait until I get more acrylics so I can put them in my display.
Oh.
Thank you, Nicole.
Oh. Since we trimmed up on Sunday, it's been an absolute mess and chaos. I'm trying to sort everything up. We actually, I think we're turning American. We bought a tree skirt.
Looks way better
Tree
with a
skirts
tree
are
skirt.
not really. It
I know that.
It does look quite nice.
Well, look. There was a time in the UK you guys weren't big on Halloween, and there was a time.
Well,
yeah,
it's
not
like
as big as it is here. And
Halloween.
this is why I have a British wife, so she informs me. And your Christmases, you hardly put any lights out at one time.
I don't know. I'm not sure, but like Halloween was bigger when I was a child, and then it died off for years. It was like where hardly anyone would go door knocking and do trick or treating. But now it's like this year, so certainly there was a lot more children out. But whereas when I was a child, you'd get hardly anyone giving out like sweets. Now we're more Americanized with Halloween, where most people would rather give out sweets, and mainly because it's cheaper. They just give the money out. You can buy a bag of sweets for like £2,
Mm-hmm.
£2 or £3, and then just give a load of like chocolate bars and stuff like that out. So, but Halloween has become more Americanized with adults as well. But lots of adults over here use it as an excuse to get dressed up and then go out to the like bars and stuff and just get steaming drunk.
Yeah, having parties. Well, they do that here. They do that here too. But what I've noticed this year, we had 86 come to our door this year, and of all the kids that came over, the parents were better dressed for Halloween than the kids were. I could not believe how beautiful the costumes were.
How do you stay warm in -20 though?
It wasn't -20. The day after, snow on the ground. It was balmy. Yes, we had a few little campfires in the front yards. They had them going, but it was you didn't need a coat. The next day, it dropped off by 20 degrees Celsius, and then it's been downhill every day since then. Yes, Lightning.
Awesome.
No, buddy.
I can hear him jingling in the background.
Hello, puppy dog. Oh, forbid if we had rain now, we'd be in trouble.
Oh yeah, they'll turn into like daggers.
Oh, it would be a disaster.
Oh, that's my fat club book. When I went to the Royal Mint last time, like if I see any more of these, I'll remember to pick some up for you. I can't remember if I showed you before. When you go to the Royal Mint, you can buy postcards with the Royal Mint experience line. You have to go to the Royal Mint for them. It's like
right.
That's the
oh,
portrait
nice.
by Jodie Clark. That was on the coin, the last portrait. And on the Jubilee coins that they had this year, that was modelled on the 1977 crown for a silver Jubilee.
I recognize it. Yes.
And that was the main bit then, celebrating the Jubilee. I've got that coin with them faces on, in 5-ounce silver proof.
Wow. I'm going to take my backdrop off here so I can show you this. I'm actually starting a project here fairly soon. Where are your settings? Come on, work for me. There you are. There we go. Look at how dreary that looks now. My goodness. Okay. This is my latest project. I picked up a package came from the Royal Canadian Regiment Museum. As you see, I'm opening it up for the first time.
Yep.
And I'm going to go to Michael's. I'm not going to do this myself because I'll get them to professionally do it. It is a package of prints of soldiers throughout history of the Royal Canadian Regiment. And this is the first one that they've got there. Taffy.
Mm-hmm.
I got this one here.
Yep.
And then they've got World War II.
Yeah.
From the putties there, that's got to be World War One. That looks like Korea. I don't know. Look at it. I've seen them so often. I know. Oh, that looks like the time of the Riel Rebellion. All right, infantry school, 1892. Bang on. And that's definitely the infantry school. And that's the time of the Boer War. Too, but that they actually still wear the scarlets with the pith helmets today for ceremonial. And that's definitely battle dress. That's got to be 43 to 44. And that's definitely Boer War. That's a private, 1900. So that's right at the end of the Boer War, Second Boer War.
I was going to say, it looks like they're going out to fight the Zulus.
Well, they're going out to fight the Boers. You know, the first Boer War, the British lost that, right? Against the Boers.
We are one of the most successful warmongering nations, though.
That's true.
Out of the whole world, the British have won more wars than anyone else in the world.
And that's an officer of the Royal Canadian Regiment in 1955. That would put me as 2 years of age when that came out. So I was actually alive. And this one is 1919.
Yeah, nice First World War dress.
Yeah, that's a lieutenant. Oh, yeah, and for those U.S., we say lieutenant, not lieutenant. Lieutenant is an American thing, not Commonwealth.
I thought we say lieutenant.
No,
I didn't say lieutenant over you.
Nope, lieutenant.
I've always said lieutenant.
That's because you're Welsh. You haven't.
To be honest, we are backward.
So yeah, I'm getting these done by through Marks and not Marks and Sparks. I'm going to send this to Michael's and have them professionally framed, and that's going to make a lovely set for my space. I just have to figure out what space I'm going to put it in because I've run out.
I was going to say, you've got so much there.
Tell me about it.
You just have to glue some tinsel around the frames.
You know, the worst case scenario, we do have a spot. I could either, Skipper, where do you get those? Got them from the RCR Museum in London, Ontario. You can actually look up the Royal Canadian Regimental Museum. And oh, History Man's coming.
Hello.
Hello, young fella.
How you doing?
I'm good and getting better like a fine wine. My wife says it's a bit skunky, but that's her problem.
Okay. Okay.
So how's the battle? How's the battle of all the music? You
How's
find
the battle with the music on?
any
it's
new
not pretty
records?
good. Huh?
Any new records? New old ones?
Yeah, I'm importing some from Argentina. As I said, so I imported 2 from Argentina, so I'm going to import 2 more from Argentina again.
That is so cool.
Yeah. We'll be posting them soon, which is going to be interesting.
I don't know if I told you this, but I've held on to my Montessori record player. It's built in 8-track. It's like one. It looks like a coffin. Anyway,
Okay.
it's sitting in my garage. I won't let my wife touch it
Okay.
because that is my private record player and an 8-track player. And
Okay.
I
Is it
love
like-
getting the old records and playing them, but I played them while I'm out there working in the garage.
Is it like one of those like 3-in-1s from like the 70s or?
Oh, that's right. It's from the 70s. So you're still talking, 50 years old.
Yeah, I've seen one of those before. I have a couple friends that have one of those.
Yeah. My claim to fame with that thing is that it's the model that my mother owned, and my mom used to make ceramics, and she was really good at it. Beautiful ceramic things. But she made the mistake of, 1, having an idiot for a son, and 2, putting ceramics on top of the Montessori record player that you have to open it up to get in the player. And here's Mr. No Brains, comes along, doot, 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 opens it up, and all her ceramics slid down the back and smashed.
Oh, yeah.
Man, my name was Mud for a long time.
Oh, I completely understand. Yeah, I mean, I remember I did the dumbest stuff too when I was a kid, so it's like I completely understand.
I had a friend of mine. We call him Frenchie, of course, because he couldn't speak English.
Oh, okay, all right.
Hey, Frenchie. He wanted to dye his hair. I'll never forget this as long as I live. So instead of getting his hair dyed, he wanted black hair.
Okay.
And we connived him into using Ritz clothing dye.
Okay.
And we took a hot water bucket, like a bucket, steel bucket. We put hot water in it and this Ritz clothing dye in it, and we had him stick his head in this thing. And it come up. Oh, it dyed his hair black, all right, but he had a line across his forehead like this.
Oh no!
The greatest looking thing I've ever seen in my life.
Right.
Those are the sort of things you did as a kid. You're like, what the heck? Do you take a stupid pill? What the heck's wrong?
A stupid pill.
Gosh, I'm telling you. Yeah, yeah.
No, it's not. Hold on, I'll be right back.
Oh man. Oh, I found my glasses again. I was worried I need those. One of my props. There you go.
If you keep saying that you can't find your glasses, I'll have to call you Thelma.
Oh no.
From Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. And that truth. There's a lot of truth in that because you lose your glasses, but you need the glasses to find your glasses. Like, come on. I tried an experiment the other day. I saw typical YouTube videos, this one showed 4 spoons and 4 batteries, and by setting up the spoons in a square touching each other and putting a AA battery on each of the posts, you could take a dime and put the dime in the middle, and the dime floats in midair. I bet you I spent an hour trying to make that stupid thing work, and it didn't. That's got to be fake. But thanks, John. Gotta go mod. Yeah, I'm on here for another 6 minutes or so, not much longer. I came up here to hang out with you guys because it is Remembrance. Even though it's Remembrance Day, we do it for the whole week here, especially with the guys and gals with the Legion doing our poppy deals and whatnot. But it's kind of nice to be able to talk about a little bit of regimental history and stuff. And while I'm doing that, I'm gonna do a brief thing on the Essex and Kent Scottish. That's what I wanted to do.
I was away for the keyboard for a while talking to someone.
Oh, well, hey, that's allowed. I was just gonna do a brief stint on the Essex and Kent Scottish. So I'm changing headdress.
Okay.
There you go. Change headdress. Ooh. Hey, gosh, it was a lot easier.
Oh, that hat. I've seen those hats.
Yeah, it's called a Glengarry.
A Glengarry. Okay.
Yeah, as you can see, I'm wearing the hat badge of the Essex and Kent Scottish, which I used to belong to that regiment many years ago. It's a primary reserve infantry regiment of the Canadian Army. So I'm really dating myself back here. This is in the 19. I started October 8, 1968 with these guys.
I see.
A little bit about the Essex Kent Scottish. The regiment was formed in 1954 by the amalgamation of the Essex Scottish Regiment and the Kent Regiment. The colonel in chief is Prince Michael of Kent. He's still alive. Nice bearded fellow. Current commanding officer is Lieutenant Colonel Gordon Prentice, another nice fellow. He started in 2019. I met him in Dieppe, France, when I was there in 2017, before he took on the commanding officer's position. Regimental Sergeant Major is now Chief Warrant Officer Jeremy Clark. Nice fellow. There are 2 standing platoons within the regiment, a platoon based in Windsor, Ontario, and 2 platoon is based in Chatham, Kent, Ontario. There's 2 parts to the regiment. Like I said, it came from the Essex Scottish and the Kent Regiment. The Essex Scottish was actually formed June 12th, 1885, and it was created as part of the Canadian militia, and it was named the 21st Essex Battalion of Infantry. It was composed of 2 infantry companies. They're formed between the years of 1860 and 1865 in Essex County. And Major John Richardson, he was living in Leamington, Ontario, was the first commanding officer of the regiment. Is from this date, the unbroken lineage of Essex, the Essex and Kent Scottish Regiment begins. They actually, one of the things that they didn't in my search of the history is it goes even further back because the Essex and Kent Scottish actually got a battle honor for the War of 1812 just a couple of years ago. So the unit was actually in the War of 1812.
The regiment itself. Okay.
Yeah, under a different name though.
What's this? I'm sorry to repeat. You have to repeat. What's the regiment called again?
The Essex and Kent Scottish.
Okay.
Yeah. The Kent Regiment was actually formed out of the 24th Kent Regiment prior to the 1901. And it was actually sent to Africa during the Boer War. That's the Second Boer War. They always forget.
War, right?
Yeah, the Second Boer War. And it was permanently actually headquartered in Chatham, Ontario. Nice little town. In December 1936, the regiment was redesignated as the Kent Regiment Machine Gun. and I saw the rigs that they used in World War II. I wouldn't want to be in that machine gun regiment because it was being that it was now a machine gun regiment. It wasn't no longer light infantry, and you were a great target because it was all light armor.
Right.
Not very good. So the Essex and Kent Scottish, actually, when it was the Essex Scottish, they're famous for the Dieppe raid that happened. It was a failed raid on Dieppe, France, and over 1,000 of their soldiers were actually captured by the Germans and held right till the end of the war. And but at the same rate, they were also later on in the war they fought in the battle in Hochwald Forest, and that's where Major Tilson. I got to meet him. Won his Victoria Cross, which is similar to the highest honors that you can get in the United States. Actually, Major Tilson lost both his legs in that action, but really nice guy though. It's funny for me to say this. I met him at a dance. What was I? I had to be 16 years old when I met him. Really nice fella though. I'm gone now though. Yeah. So right to this day, they still are in Windsor and Chatham, and I would really one of these days love to either go down there for the Dieppe parade, which is typically held in August, or go down for the Remembrance Day service, or even a reunion, because I belong to the Regimental Association, so it would be nice to actually see some of the guys and gals that I served with 50 years ago.
Interesting. That's a very interesting history of this regiment too. I should look and read more about it.
Yeah, it's quite interesting, and so many characters came out of that regiment, especially musically. Pipe maker Jock Copeland had some of the most fabulous music you'd ever heard. If you like pipe music, oh my goodness, Jock Copeland was the man.
Okay,
and I know there's recordings of it. Okay, what's going on in chat here? Someone talking about making Santa's naughty list. Truth finder.
I mean, you're Santa after all. So.
Oh, this is hi. I'm backstage. No, you're not. You must have been in there and then gave up because I didn't see you. No, don't give up. Don't give up. You want to come back?
Hi, Mayor.
What's this about dancing snowman? That's not that's the Santa Claus. That's Tim Allen's thing. Even though I do a good impression of him. Yeah. Yeah, I really, really do like what you're doing with conserving the music, though. That's a fantastic idea.
Are you in on the next grab bag, Patrick?
No, I'm not on the next one because I can't afford it. I got so much that I got to pick up. Unlike last year, I did not pick up the stuff that I should have this year. I had too many other things going on, like repairs to the house and flooding basements and broken furnaces, and all my money ended up going on those repairs. So everybody's I'm scaling back the presents here. Come on, it's my oldest boy's 49. It's time that I got a present. Come on. Hello. How about you guys making Christmas dinner? Do you realize they have never, ever, ever made me Christmas dinner.
Nobody made you Christmas dinner?
It's me. I do all the Christmases. Every one of them.
You'll have to come over for Christmas dinner over here because me and Kirsty cooking.
Do you know what Tracy asked me to do?
What?
She says, make stew. I says, then I'll never get rid of them because I make the wicked stew with dumplings.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, the beef stew with beef with the pot barley and
You've got to have dumplings in the stew.
Got to have dumplings. Actually, half the stew is dumplings. Yes. Good stuff.
Make the stew. A stew to make is going to be cheaper than Christmas dinner.
What
Anyway.
stew you being able to make though?
Well, Truth Finder was on my show, Patrick. He is a funny guy. Well, where is he? Well, it's 16:03 for you guys that don't know Army time, or it's 4:03 here. But yeah,
all 11.
Wow, time change. Gotta love it. Yes. Awesome stuff. So, you got any parting remarks, guys, before I shut this down?
No,
No.
I'm going to jump on chat if you want to go on chat. We'll go bed.
Maybe because I'm not a party guy, but I guess so. Yeah, I don't have any suggestions really.
Well, I'll tell you, I hope that you find some really great bits of music, like original Enrico Caruso.
Oh, I have for Christmas. I have one Christmas record from like it was originally recorded I think in 1925, but it looks like I think like a 35 re-release of it. So
Right.
I had that. So I'm gonna play that by Christmas time, and then I found this by accident, but it's in Japanese. I have a Japanese record from 1933, and it's pretty much like a bunch of school children are just singing Old Ensign. So I guess I'll just play that too in New Year's.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. And Marlon, you're not the only one that's bringing it up. Go ahead.
If you're going to do Christmas music, do Christmas music right. Get some British Christmas music in.
I don't have any British. I don't have any British records. I
Boney
want
M.
British made records, but oh man,
Yep.
I cannot
Boney
find
M.
any British made records. Yeah,
You've got to
I have
Boney
none.
M, Shakin' Stevens as well. So I don't know how, like, if you guys know who Shakin' Stevens is, Cliff Richard,
Yes, Cliff Richard's good.
Mistletoe and Wine. I think Mariah Carey's a bit overplayed everywhere, though. It's like it always like
Bye,
Mrs.
man.
Brown. Mrs. Brown.
I'm trying to
So
think.
this is Christmas.
Wizard as well. Slade. Do you know Wizard? When they say, "Oh, I wish it could be Christmas every day."
Yeah. That one that Bing Crosby sang with
White Christmas.
no. The one that he sang with not Mick Jagger.
Oh,
Why can't I remember his name now?
yeah, I know. What's his name?
I'm having a brain
He's
fart
dead.
here. Yeah, they all are.
He sang "Life on Mars."
He was in Labyrinth.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of his name.
What's his name? David Bowie.
That's it. Yeah,
Cannot believe I
what's
couldn't
it? He sang this. Oh, so they told me. Ba-da-ba-bum-bum. That
Yes.
one.
Yeah.
That was an awesome
Or,
one.
or whatever the lyrics are. I always mess lyrics up.
Oh, I'm not great
It's
at
like-
that either.
Oh, there's a song of you. I can't remember what. Was it? Oh, crumbs. I can't remember her name. He sings "Ciao, adios, I'm done" in the song. But whenever I hear it, I can only hear "Shower the horse, I'm done."
Or
And
there's
everyone, and it's like the way she sings it. It sounds like she's singing about showering horses.
how about fleas on my dog, fleas on my dog, dead sparrow
Fleas.
under the log.
Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad.
It's I feel like I'm trying to do a Weird Al Yankovic thing, but anyway.
That's not like a massively popular song over here. It's like I love like some of the Christmas songs like from the 50s, though. My mother bought a Christmas CD like probably about 10, 20 years ago now. It must be about 20 years ago. In fact. And I can't find it for love nor money, and just had like all like really good old Christmas songs on.
Yeah.
Which you can tell are from like the 30s and 40s and 50s and stuff, and they were just awesome. Like, there was a song on there called "Here Comes Susie Snowflake," dressed in a snow white gown, tap tap tapping on your window frame to tell you she's in town. I was like, I don't even know how old that song is, but it sounds definitely like it's from the 50s or something.
I'm definitely feeling my age now because I remember Ziggy Stardust. I gotta shut it down, guys. Taffy, Discord.
Yeah, I'll jump on Discord now.
And thank you for everybody coming out. I'll see you, Marlon. I'll see you tomorrow morning. We're gonna do breakfast.
All right, I'll see you, Skipper. Taffy,
and anytime, come on up.
All right, I will. All right, see you guys.
All right, take care, guys.
Okay.